and welcome to the Indie Brew Show, where we spill the tea on indie games. My name is Beck.
And I'm Ant, and today we have a massive lineup of indie game goodness for all of you, including...
We chat about all of the latest indie news, including an update on the Stop Killing Games movement, and some tea on the Subnautica 2 drama.
Doesn't matter who did what on that situation, it's, by the sounds of it, shots are being thrown on both sides. It's not just one person being petty, it's both sides being petty. We feature two incredible upcoming games full of 90s and early 2000s nostalgia that we can't wait to get our hands on. I'm in on this. As soon as the demo comes out, I'm playing.
It's so good. And what is it about farming sims? We chat all about this popular genre and why we love and hate it.
Just starting to actually make me question whether I do like farming simulators. So grab a cup of your favorite beverage and let's get this show on the road.
Freshly brewed.
Last weekend, there was a showcase called the Secret Sauce Showcase, which is a fantastic name for a showcase. But there was a bunch of cool news and games and things that we got out of that showcase. It's a showcase put on by off-brand games and open source. And some of the games that were featured were games like Aethermancer, which got a good feature, and Bonnie Bear Saves Frog Time, which was cool to hear about. We also got a bunch of demo announcements. So Curiosmos, which we talked about last week, was actually part of this event, the demo, so that is out now. Dark Web Streamer got a demo, Battlesuit Aces got a demo, so it was pretty varied in the games that were on display. We also got some new trailers for games like Truckful and games like Modulus, which is an automation game, which I am so looking forward to. But one of the things that did come out of it was a delay for a game that we're both very much looking forward to, and that is Voyages of Nira. So that release date has been bumped to September 16th.
Really?
Yeah, kind of sucks. But I mean, I'd rather the game be like ready to come out, but I'm low-key disappointed that we don't get to play that next month.
Man, I was so keen for that. It's still like one of the ones that have, like, I think it's the one that has caught my eye the most from this year.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough.
I think it's definitely going to be one of my favorite games of the year for sure. So September 16th. So that's getting bumped a little bit. At least it's not too far away. But yeah, a little bit longer to wait for that one. The Secret Sauce Showcase seemed to have a whole bunch of cool announcements in it and just a cool vibe too. So I was pretty impressed with the lineup from this one.
So next up, we've got a little bit of news about Critical Role. Now, I understand that's not indie, but stay with me, all right? Critical Role, the group behind the D&D games that have basically captured the world, they have started development on their first video game. And this is after the success of their animated series for the first season. And what it has to do with indie games is that it's actually an indie studio that they have approached to create this game.
That's cool.
Now, a lot of the people in the Critical Role group are voice actors that do a lot of voice acting with indie games. So we've got majority of the cast is in Date Everything. There's a bunch of the cast from Stray Gods, and they just do video games scattered here and there. It's a passion of theirs. The game is going to be set in Exandria, which is their D&D universe that they play in. And like I said, it's going to be made by an indie game studio called Ad Hoc Studio. Ad Hoc Games hasn't actually released a game just yet, but they have got a game that's coming out this year sometime called Dispatch, which looks absolutely fantastic. I love Critical Role. I think it's fantastic, and hearing that there's going to be a video game that's coming out that is made by an indie dev is so cool. I'm really excited for that.
I think especially after We Villa Dirt League have done it with Nice Day for Fishing.
Yes.
I think there's definitely a market for it as well, for these kind of established fantasy worlds that these people have created. It's like, now we get to play in them. What? That's so cool.
100%. I'm hoping that we see something similar to Baldur's Gate. You know, last week we spoke about how Baldur's Gate does set a bit of a standard for RPG games.
Yeah.
If this is going to be an RPG game, which I'm sure it will be. Hopefully they follow along with Larian and put some big stuff in. I'm really keen to see it.
I think it's a really cool way to kind of immerse people who are fans of the show that they put together into the actual Wordle itself. So I'm keen for this. I'll be watching along closely for this one, I think.
Yeah, don't worry, you'll get regular updates because I'll be watching this like a hawk.
I don't know what is special about August 7th, but over the past kind of week, we have had a ton of games announce an August 7th release date. So I hope you've got your wallets ready because it's going to be a big month. But in particular, August 7th is going to be a hectic day for releases. So on the cards, we have games like Make Room, which is like a decorating game. Tiny Bookshop is finally coming out, which is the mobile bookshop simulation game where you kind of have like a caravan that's a bookshop that you travel around with, which looks fantastic. Ritual of Raven, the second game from the studio that did Sticky Business, is coming out, and that's like a witchy farming sim, so something completely different to their first game.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Static Dread, which is that lighthouse keeping horror game where you play as like a lighthouse keeper and there's things that go on that you have to deal with. Similar vein to that, like Fears of Fathom kind of vibes, I think.
Also looks good. I'm so keen for that one.
Yeah. Thousand Deaths, which is like an action adventure 3D platformer, which looks really cool. It's got a really interesting art style to that one, is coming out. The Royal Writ has just announced a August 7th release date. It's a roguelike deck builder.
Woohoo. We love them.
The art style on that one looks really cool as well. Whimside, which is like a Pokemon-esque idle game, a creature collecting idle game, looks fantastic. That one's August 7th. And Gemporium, which is like a cozy mining game with some really cool, interesting mechanics in there, is also coming out on August 7th. So it's going to be a massive day for games. And these are just indie games that I found. There's probably more. There's probably more that are going to announce their release day the next week too. So I hope you're ready for a massive release day on August 7th.
Man, I was ready last week. I had school holidays last week. This is happening a lot recently where we've just got like a bunch of games coming out in the 1 week and I'm like, I don't know what to choose. What do I do?
Yeah. And then you have like those weeks where you have like barely anything and you're like, damn, why couldn't they spread them out a bit more? Come on, guys. Give us a bit more time to play these games.
Who was at the meeting that decided, all right, everyone, August 7th, release date. Let's make it so they can't play every game. They can only choose one.
The Backlog conundrum. Secretly a conspiracy by developers.
People are probably starting to get a little bit sick of hearing about this, but it is still massive. The Stop Killing Games initiative has reached 1.4 million signatures. Now, it only needed 1 million to get pushed across, but it's gone an extra 50% above that, which is absolutely amazing. But the issue is that now that they've gotten the amount of signatures they need to push it across the line, the video game industry has started going for them, basically playing a little bit dirty. The organizer of the Stop Killing Games initiative claims that the industry has filed false claims against the petition, basically saying that they are taking money. They're taking money and they're using money for specific things. Now, it's hard to see whether this is just them trying their hardest to get the initiative pushed away so that they don't have to deal with it, or whether there's legitimate reasons for having this. But basically, they're just trying their hardest to push anything against the initiative to try and get it taken out of consideration, which absolutely sucks because, as we spoke about the last couple of weeks, I think it's a good thing. We think it's a good thing. Yeah. And they're literally just trying anything they can, which is a little bit slanderous. A little bit.
I think it's a pretty tried and true tactic to kind of discredit your competition in a lot of circles. So, I mean, it's not surprising, but it will be interesting to see, provided Stop Killing Games has done everything above board, like they shouldn't have anything to worry about. But there is always that, well, what if we did actually do that?
The commission are investigating it. They're going to contact the organisers of the initiative and try to establish the facts and ask them to correct any inaccuracies on funding or support. The organisers have expressed the fact that they have not put any money into it. So, they're holding it pretty true that this has definitely not happened. But One thing he did say is that all this resistance means we're throwing around some real power to fix things, so let's keep it at that, which I 100% agree with. Yeah. It's like the only reason they're pushing back is because there's obvious things that may come out of this.
Yeah.
And I think industry is scared about that.
Yeah, like nearly 1.5 million. That's a big number of supporters.
It is.
And if that's only the EU kind of region as well, then that's pretty massive. So, I mean, they should be scared, I think.
Here's a cool one. So, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot, I don't know if I've said that correctly, but I apologize if I haven't. They've put out a statement saying, we're doing our best to make sure that things go well for all players and buyers, because obviously support for all games cannot last forever. But clearly this is a far-reaching issue and we're working on it. So at the very least, people are actually starting to talk about it. So even if it doesn't go through, at least something has been said and companies can actually see that we're going, we're kind of sick of this.
Yeah. This could also just be a stalling kind of tactic as well.
Could
to
be.
try and keep it out of Parliament for as long as possible by kicking up noise. So we'll see. I think either way, it's made enough noise that there will be hopefully something that comes of it. I don't think this will just disappear.
No, I highly doubt it. People are way too loud about this situation. I don't think this is going to disappear anytime soon.
Have you heard about the Subnautica 2 situation?
Funnily enough, I have not. Okay. And I'm not just saying that for the bit. I know something has happened because it's been all over the internet, but I haven't actually read up on it just yet.
Well, there's a lot here. So I'm going to try and break it down the best that I can. So basically, Subnautica 2 recently announced it has been delayed, which, that happens quite often, especially in the indie scene. However, apparently this has been delayed because of some tension, I want to say, between the publisher and the development team. And this actually goes all the way back to March. So in March, the development team were fired from Unknown Worlds. I think it's the CEO and the technical director and the game director all lost their jobs.
They weren't caught at a Coldplay concert, were they? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know. There was some sort of power struggle there back in March. They lost their jobs and now they're suing the publisher over the dismissals because apparently there was a $250 million payout on the line for this publishing deal. So Krafton is the publisher and they are a South Korean based publishing agency. They acquired Unknown Worlds after Subnautica 1 was released. So Unknown Worlds did Subnautica off their own back and then they were acquired. Apparently it was like a $500 million deal that they signed as well to get Unknown Worlds under their banner. And Subnautica 2 was part of that contract. So it was a $500 million contract for Subnautica 2. Now, there was obviously some things tied up in that contract for producing Subnautica 2 that included bonuses for the three kind of head game makers, basically. Krafton have come out and they've released a statement saying that the game wasn't in good enough state to be released, so they delayed it. They've said, that they want to provide fans with better gaming experiences. That's why they acquired Unknown Worlds, and they were committed to supporting Subnautica and Subnautica 2 for their, success. And they've pretty much said, to be able to provide the best possible gaming experience, we made the difficult decision to change the executive leadership.
It's hard because on one side, if what the publishing company says is true and they were like, we're not happy with how it's going to go and it wasn't ready, that's understandable. But then the issue with the contract and the firing, if the issue with the contract is true and they fired them to maybe save some money, that looks dodgy on that side. And it's like, okay, what's actually going on here? Who really wants the game to come out and who's just trying to save some money?
On their actual website, so on Krafton's website, they've got a statement that pops up as you go to their website. And they've got in there, which this is very airing dirty laundry kind of vibes here. But, they've got that they made multiple requests to Charlie and Max, who are two of the leaders or previous leaders, to resume their roles as game director and technical director, but both declined to do so apparently. And apparently following the failure of Moonbreaker, which is another game that was released by the studio, apparently Charlie was again asked to devote himself to Subnautica 2, and they literally have on their website, instead of participating in the game development, he chose to focus on a personal film project. I mean, this is messy. Like, no matter which way you look at it, no matter who's in the right and who's in the wrong, this is messy. But yeah, Crafton are pretty much saying the former leadership's conduct was not it, so we fired them, and they're missing out on their bonuses. The former leadership is saying, nah, we're still entitled to this. This is still our kind of game. And in the meantime, it's the gamers who are missing out because we don't get Subnautica 2 anytime soon, especially if these lawsuits are ongoing.
Man, that's hard because I don't know who to believe. That's rough. But yeah, you're 100% right. It's us who miss out on Subnautica 2. Doesn't matter who did what on that situation. It's, by the sounds of it, shots are being thrown on both sides. It's not just one person being petty, it's both sides being petty. It just reminds me of those Facebook situations where two people have broken up and they're having their full-blown argument out on Facebook. Yep. And that's what it reminds me of. It's fantastic.
It's like, it's almost cringe, but like,
yeah,
you know. So yeah, if you're waiting for Subnautica 2, be prepared to wait a while, because I think this is potentially going to be drawn out, and you know, we don't really know how that's gonna look for the release of the game. But yeah, that's the tea on Subnautica 2 at the moment.
Wow. Okay, that's going to be hard to follow up. A non-indie studio, the Chinese Room, who made games like Still Wakes the Deep, Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines 2, have decided that they are going to be splitting from their, I guess, parent company, Sumo Digital. And they are going to be going back to developing original independent games, which is both kind of cool and kind of not cool at the same time. Obviously, with the move back to indie, they haven't got as much of a budget as what they need. They have confirmed a bunch of layoffs at the studio because of budgeting, which sucks. But they really believe in splitting from the parent company to make the games they want to make rather than being told what to make. So the idea is that they basically bought themselves out so that they can do their own creative stuff and also potentially work with other studios on bigger projects. I don't know, it's hard. Are they still indie?
I don't know. And I think we're seeing the lines blurred a lot more these days than it's not as clear cut as it used to be. Usually indie comes down, in my opinion, to funding.
Yes.
Whether or not they're like backed by a bigger company, or they're self-funded, or like government funded or whatever. And then as well, like the size of the team. So obviously the smaller the team, the more indie they are in a lot of ways. So I don't know, it's a hard one because, you know, if they don't have that financial backing and security of the bigger company, then yeah, I guess technically they are indie.
So yeah, they're self-funded, and it says here the specifics are confidential, but the studio is currently at 55 developers. So they've moved back to a team of 55 from whatever it was prior to. Some of the games they've done are big. Amnesia, massive in the horror like that's genre defining. Everyone's Gone to the Rapture was another really big one that they did.
Yeah.
Still Wakes the Deep was pretty big as well. Oil Rig Psychological Horror, and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Vampire the Masquerade is a pretty well-known game franchise, I guess. So I mean, they can make games. Yeah, we know they can make the games. Now maybe with some creative freedom, this might actually be massive. Don't know though.
You got to wonder like what was the discussion that led to like them going, no, you know, that's it. I've had enough. I'm going to go make my own thing.
You got to wonder at what point, like, what's going on with the developers and the publishers, or the developers and the parent companies, where they just go, we can't do this anymore. We're done.
Yeah.
I guess it's hard. Maybe they're seeing other studios who are getting pushed to release something as soon as they possibly can. And they're like, we just don't want to release games that way, so we're going by ourselves. Who knows? It's a hard one, but exciting new indie studio. Hopefully they do a lot of good things. They are known for good games, so Fingers crossed.
Yeah. Are you looking for something new to pick up this week? Well, we've got you covered. Here's what's on this week's menu. Split is a short psychological horror game with a focus on terminal hacking. You'll work alongside fellow technicians to plan and execute a malware attack in what's a unique narrative-driven horror, and it's coming July 25th.
Paint minis, decorate your home, and take time for yourself in this cozy desktop idle game. In Mini Painter, you'll open unique and rare minis, complete special collections, and grow your experience the more inspired you feel from each painting session. This one's coming out July 25th.
Pip My Dice is a Yahtzee roguelite experience. You'll need to score enough points to progress to the next level, all while customizing your dice and collecting relics to boost your combos. This one's coming July 26th.
Village Tale is a relaxing idle village building sim where you build, craft, and trade to create your own village tale. Docking to the bottom of your screen, this one combines automation with a colony sim. This one's dropping July 27th.
Primal Planet is a Metroidvania pixel art game where you'll unveil a heartfelt story of family, dinosaurs, and UFOs. Play alone or co-op as you craft, upgrade, and try to survive. This one's dropping July 28th.
And get your thermos bags ready. In Delivery Pals, you'll be teaming up with friends to deliver delicious food to aliens. Running the last company on Earth won't be easy, and you'll need to use all of your cat courier skills to keep your company in the green. This one's coming out July 29th.
Day of the Shell is a tactical roguelite where one click equals one turn. You'll travel from island to island in a shattered and flooded world, attempting to appease the gods. This one's dropping July 29th.
Holy Shoot is a fast-paced roguelite action FPS game set in a satirical version of hell. Pick your hero, dive into hell, upgrade your build, and shoot your way through sin. Coming July 30th.
Bargain Brews!
Are you looking to get the best bang for your buck this week? Well, here are some bargain brews for you to check out. First up on the list, we've got the amazing live sim My Time at Porsche, which is 80% off at the moment. Next up, we've got the absolutely amazing horror thriller game Little Nightmares 1 and 2 bundle for 29% off, so that's from 90 down to 60. It's a lot. We've got the amazing card game Balatro with 10% off, and then finally the brand new Phantom Squad for 30% off.
And Chucklefish is having their publisher sale this week, so you can get some pretty epic deals, including games like Starbound for 60% off, Wild Frost for 40% off, Eastwood for 50% off, and Locomotive for 20% off.
Next up, we've got the Play Some discounts, which, if you don't know Play Some, it's a digital storefront where you can buy games, and you can use the code The Indie Brew for 10% off across the store. On Play Some, we've got Backpack Hero for 47% off. We've got This War of Mine for 81% off, and Children of Mortar for 83% off.
And if you're really looking for some great value bundles, Humble Bundle has got a pretty good one on the cards this week. So they've got the Untold Games bundle, which includes games like Everdream Valley, Flamekeeper, Frozenheim, and more. So definitely one worth checking out. So a couple of weeks ago on the show, I made an admission that caught Ant by surprise that I have never played Stardew Valley. And look, it started a bit of a debate, not just amongst the two of us, but amongst people in general, because Stardew Valley is one of the most popular indie games. When people think of indie games, they usually think of Stardew Valley. In fact, it actually just took over Portal 2 to become the most highly rated Steam game of all time. So it's a pretty popular game, right? But I could not get into it. So it got us thinking about farming sims as a genre, because I don't like farming sims as a genre, not just Stardew. I don't like pick favorites. I don't just not like Stardew. I don't like farming sims as a whole, but you really like them, don't you, Ant?
I'm pretty big into them, yeah. There's a couple that I can't get into. There's a few that just don't tickle my fancy. But yes, I will say that I am a fan of them.
I guess I tried to play Stardew Valley and I got bored within I don't know, probably like the first half an hour. I think I gave it like an hour and I was like, nah, man, I'm bored. I want to go play something a bit more interesting. So what is it about Stardew Valley that you like?
It's the freedom, I guess. It's the organization. It's the, I guess, the challenges. There's so much to the game that you can kind of pick which area you want to focus on and then move on with that. But there's no real deadline for it. There's no real timeline for it. So it can be a game that's cozy. But Stardew can also be the most chaotic, stressful game that you've ever played in your life.
Yeah.
And I like that. If I'm sitting back going, you know what, I'm on the couch and I just want to relax, I'm going to focus on my farm. I can do that. If I really want a high stakes vibe thing, I can set myself a challenge. That I think the content creators that are out there that do these challenges as well really ups the ante for the game, because I see a challenge and I'm like, I want to try that. I watched one once. It was, can I finish Stardew Valley with only leaving the farm once per year? And I was like, oh, dude, that's such a cool idea. I want to try that.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing that draws me into it. I like a game that you can be stuck on the same bit for months and just butting your head against a wall until you finally finish that thing. And Stardew is very similar with that, where there's like the bundle system. It can take a fair while to get the right things for the bundles, and I like just slowly poking away at that. It's the progression points in that game that I really, really like.
I mean, I don't know. It could just be one of those slow to start games. I have played a couple of like farming sims. So I played Lightyear Frontier and I quite enjoyed that. But that one, not only are you in like a cool mech that does like cool things, but it also, a big chunk of that gameplay is exploring the world that you're in and like cleaning up different areas and bringing the environment back to like good in these different areas in that one. So I really liked that one. I've also played Echoes of the Plum Grove, which I didn't mind. That's probably the one I persevered on the longest, which is like it's almost like that 2.5D kind of paper style.
Yes, yeah.
And that one's got kind of a bit more of like a darker side. Like you can get sick, you can like starve to death. Like there's a bit more of that kind of negative stuff in there, I suppose. So it's cozy, but it's not like 100% cozy. And I didn't mind that. Like I didn't mind it, but I think it kind of gets to a point where it just gets really repetitive, and that's where I get bored. Like I don't want to do the same thing every day.
Yes, yeah.
I don't want to like have to worry about my energy levels and food and like all of this kind of extra stuff. The other thing, particularly relates to Stardew, I guess, but also a lot of the farming sims have this in it. The whole NPC thing and like having to talk to them and having to like build relationships and stuff, I find that so tedious.
See, I don't vibe with that at all.
Yeah.
I streamed it last year at some point, or maybe the start of this year. And I remember people coming in and saying like, who do you romance? Like who do you chat to? I'm like, dude, I'm out here building the farm. I don't chat to anyone.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? When it comes to these sorts of games, do you like direction? Because I noticed something you said about another game earlier, and I think maybe this could be a big defining factor of it. Yeah,
I'm a big fan of directed play.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be like, you know, a linear storyline, just like here's what you're working towards, which I think is why I really like a lot of the automation games, because you're usually trying to like create something specific. You're trying to, do something specific, and to achieve that, you need to go and get X, Y, Z, or you need to go and do this, get this resource or whatever it may be, and then you come back and then you can kind of create it. Same with survival crafters. A lot of it is very much like you end up exploring and you end up farming, or you end up collecting and crafting so that you can do this to be able to progress this. So
yes,
I think typically, yes, I'm definitely someone who enjoys that style of game a lot more. I don't vibe with like those full like sandbox builders, like Tiny Glade, beautiful game, boring as for me. I'm like, no, thank you. I don't like enjoy creating from nothing. I'd rather create something because we need to do X, Y, Z, you know?
Yeah, that's what I assumed. And I 100% get that. I can see why you don't vibe with Stardew Valley in that way. Because within the whole game, there's really no direction. It's like you're relying on dialogue. You're relying on like little cutscenes to kind of tell you what you may or may not have to do. And like if you miss out on that, or you know, you just zone out for a couple of minutes, that's gone, and you might miss that completely.
Yeah.
So I 100% get that. I think majority of the meat of my learning came from watching other people. I think when it first came out, I was watching a YouTuber that was playing it, and I watched them play like 100 days of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe 200 days of it. And I went, oh, this is actually pretty cool. I might give this a shot. But I already learned where I had to go because I'd watched this person play it.
Yeah.
I think if I had have just gotten into it, very similar to the first time I ever played Minecraft, I think I played it for like 2 weeks. I went, not for me.
Yeah.
That changed later on in life when I found out sort of there can be a progression to it, and there is kind of a build up of preparation to getting towards an end goal. And that's where I started liking it. But yeah, I do get where you're coming from. And I can see that in this. You mentioned it before about Spirity as well, that there was kind of no direction to it. Have you played My Time at Portia?
No. I'd played My Time at Sandrock a little bit.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
Couldn't get into it.
I
couldn't get into it.
Because that, from memory, that did have like a kind of a linear storyline. But once again, that's very open of like, you could do this or you don't. Where survival crafters have that, it's like you do this or you die. Yeah.
You have to do this.
Yeah.
I think My Time at Sandrock was very heavy on the NPC dialogue and NPC quests, and that drove me insane. There is nothing I hate more than getting into a game and having to sit through 5 minutes of like NPC dialogue.
Yeah, lore dumping.
Yeah, not it. I'm like, yeah.
I sometimes get that way as well. There's been a couple of games I've played recently, not indies, but older 360 games that obviously seen a game, like a big game, something like Mass Effect or something like that, and they're like, we want to do something like that, but we need to be able to let them know the story behind it before we go forward. And it's just like a cutscene for 15 minutes. You're like, oh man, I really wish I could play this game at some point. That's not the way to do it.
If I wanted to watch a movie, I'd watch a movie. I don't want to watch a movie. And like the worst ones are the ones where you have to like choose out of like 2 different options, and they basically have no actual effect on what happens in the cutscene. But you have to like still listen and choose a different option. And it's like, come on guys, like I just want to like do something.
Or they've been talking for like 8 minutes, and then at the end of it you've got to have a response, but the response is to what they said like halfway through the dialogue, and you're like, damn, what did they say? Like, what am I responding to here? It is interesting because, like you said, Stardew is one of the biggest games at the moment, and I think that's due to the community based around it. The gameplay is obviously a big part of it, but the community based around it have created so much more stuff that you can do within the game. Like I said before, the challenges. I've got a friend, Wild Refrain, who is a Stardew player, and he does these crazy challenges that are just fun. They're just, and I think that would take you a little bit more into the style of game you like. It's like you've got an objective. It's fast paced, and you get there or you fail, and that's it. And I guess at the core of it, that's why I like Stardew. Yeah, it's just starting to actually make me question whether I do like farming simulators, because like I don't even know if it is, but Dinkum, I struggled with that for the same reason. It was kind of just non-directional. Graveyard Keeper was awesome, but that has heavy direction. You've got missions and you've got to do the missions. And there's a 7-day cycle where NPCs only show up on specific days, so you've got to there's a lot to manage, and it's more of a manager than it is a farm sim. You might have me convinced here. I don't know.
I think we're seeing a lot of farming sims come out. Like it's quite a common genre, I guess, or like a buzz genre at the moment, which is interesting. I think like Fields of Mystery comes to mind, which is essentially apparently like a fantasy version of Stardew. So that obviously has been quite big.
Coral Island.
Yeah, Coral Island.
Echoes of Plum Grove. My Time.
Yeah.
What else we got? Wildflowers.
I think that's more life sim.
Which I guess it is, but it's got farm sim stuff in it.
Yeah, okay.
So like you move to a rural town and you're like basically planting stuff to do. I haven't actually played it, but I've seen a little bit of it. And I'd say there's also aspects of farm sim in Palia and Disney
Dreamlight Valley.
Dreamlight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And once again, they're the parts in the game that I find lacking. So you might be onto something. Man, why have you convinced me?
Sorry.
Do I not like Stardew anymore? No, I do. So, can you imagine that?
Oh gosh, I convinced him not to like Stardew Valley. That's the title. I think it's interesting though, because when you look at it, a lot of the most popular games are sandbox games.
Yes.
Right? Think about Minecraft is a sandbox game. The Sims, to a degree, is a sandbox game. Terraria, Stardew Valley, like a lot of the really big games that still have active communities like years and years and years and years after their release are sandbox games, which is interesting because I don't like sandbox games. So I wonder what it is about these sandbox games that draws people in.
Once again, I think it's just the freedom to be able to do anything. And majority of those games, well, every single one of those games you've mentioned have got such a big community online that are about challenges.
Yeah.
The Sims, they've got the 100 baby challenge. They've got...
I love watching those videos.
And that's what I mean. Yeah. Like there's these little niches within the game that people have created that bring new people in. I don't think I've ever mentioned it on this channel. I was a Minecraft streamer for 4 years.
Yep.
And the whole reason I played it was because I had watched Filza do a hardcore challenge and I was like, I want to do that challenge. I want to see how long I can last in hardcore. And it was the whole reason I went and played the game. I know my wife plays The Sims, and what she does in that is she plays through every family and just has multiple generations. Her whole thing is about getting exactly what the Sim wants. So she kind of doesn't play it. She more like observes and then occasionally creates chaos. But like that's her thing. That's why she plays it. If I was to just say, go on and play one family, she'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's why that 100-day thing was so big for a little while.
Yeah.
It was like, what can you get done in 100 days?
I think it still is pretty big, to be honest. But yeah.
It is, yes, yeah. And I think, it's because it's so open and so able to be manipulated to do your own thing. I think that's why it sort of caters to a mass audience.
I mean, yeah, I know I always go back to The Sims, but only when I have like a very solid idea of what I want to do.
Yeah.
I know I've done like the $1 million from nothing challenge on The Sims. I've done the 1 square challenge on The Sims and I enjoyed that. Like I enjoy playing it, but then there's no interest after that's finished to like continue playing. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I don't really care.
I'm the same. When I go into Stardew with a challenge, which is how I play it these days, I finished in quotation marks. Like I achieved a grading on it, and that was, for me, that was finished. But if I go back to it, it's usually for a specific reason. How quick can I finish the community bundles? How quick can I do this? And once I'm finished it, I don't touch it again for maybe years, maybe months, who knows.
Well, maybe that's it. Maybe I just need the right challenge.
Yeah, well, Stardew is one that is multiplayer. So potentially you could do a multiplayer challenge, and at least that allows you to have some sort of direction, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like it is a good game. It's just, once again, it's got no direction explicitly told to you. There is 100% direction, but it's not explicit. So it's kind of hard to figure that out.
I guess if you watching have any challenge recommendations for Stardew or any thoughts about the game as a whole, what you love about it, what you hate about it, or farming sims in general, comment below. I'd love to know what other people think, because I feel like a lot of these like really popular games, the communities are very loud on the positive side, and it's almost like you're shunned if you say you don't like it. So I'd be interested to hear some different opinions about these games that we've mentioned as well. So let us know your thoughts in the comments below. This is games on our backlog we want you to convince us we need to play and get off our backlog. My pick for backlog this week is a pretty well-regarded game, and that game is Subnautica. So with all of the news about Subnautica 2, it made me realize that I actually still haven't played the first game. And the reason I haven't played the first game is mostly just because I'm a bit of a wuss and it looks too scary. I'm a big fan of a good survival crafter. I've played games like Green Hell. I've played like some of the more hardcore survival crafters that kind of do borderline on that, you know, eerie, creepy, scary kind of vibes. So it's definitely right up my alley, but I don't know, it just looks really creepy. I think one of the big reasons why I haven't gone into it is because it's not co-op, and I really enjoy playing those styles of games co-op. But I'd love to know if it's worth playing solo. Is it scary, or is it just chill? Let me know. Let me know why I should play it.
So this week, my pick for the backlog is one that I'm still very, very unsure of, and that is Spirited. Now, I bought this when it first came out because I was following along with the game and was watching the hype. The overall style really grabbed me, and the story sounded absolutely amazing. But unfortunately, at the time, I heard some, not bad press about it, but just some opinions on the game, and it didn't sound like it was going to be a game for me. But since then, I've played a lot of games very similar to this, and it is a game for me. I do like cozy games. I do like these sort of shop-style store simulators, especially after playing Wonder Stop. But yeah, I still don't know. I hear that it's a little bit long-winded in the dialogue area, so not 100% sure. But if you've played it and it's a favorite of yours or you really enjoyed it, convince me to get it off my backlog. Let me know what you guys think.
I didn't like it, that one, when I played it. There wasn't a whole lot of direction as to what you actually needed to do for a lot of it. Yeah. But yeah, it's had a lot of updates. I haven't played it since it initially came out, so I haven't played it with any of the new updates or the new content or anything like that. So it's definitely probably worth checking out now that it's had, you know, nearly 2 years after release.
It still looks sick. Like, I remember the first time I seen it, it looked amazing. I was like, it's Studio Ghibli, but not. And I was like, I'm in.
A lot of the actual gameplay too was pretty cool. Like the bathhouse kind of management stuff was really fun. That was the part I enjoyed the most. So,
well, now that I've set it on the backlog, I have to play it, so. With so many games that are coming out, it's hard to know which ones to keep an eye on. So this week we've got a couple of games that we think are going to be amazing. So these are ones to watch. So my one this week is a little bit different from what I usually choose, and it's mainly because of a game that came out like 20 years ago. So I'm a big fan of the Bully game from the old school era of gaming, and although this is not exactly the same, there is a new game that has been announced called Agefield High Rock the School, and it looks like a spiritual successor to Bully. Basically, you relive your high school days in the town of Agefield. It's early 2000s, which matches with that whole kind of Bully style, as well as being nostalgic as for people my age. And you have 3 months left at school. So the idea is to go through school. You can rebel. You can do your work. You can win over your dream girl or boy, or, you know, just be at high school. And it's very similar to that sort of Bully style of thing where it's a school sim that's not too cheesy, if that makes sense. So if you're a fan of that sort of run around and relive high school style thing, almost like a GTA-ish element to it, then this one is definitely one that you've got to keep your eye on. I'm really excited for this one.
So it's like a school simulation.
Kind of, yeah, but it's got that sort of GTA feel to it. So it's a little bit open world. There's going to be different missions to it, and you can choose what you do. So you can go in and you can be the rebel, you can be the jock, you can be the band geek.
It does sound good. I think you're either one of two people though. You're either the person who wants to go back and relive high school for your glory days, or you're like the person who wants to go back and relive high school because high school sucked, right? It's one of the two.
Yeah. The person that wants to go back because high school sucked, it's probably because they want to do something different. Maybe you studied the entire way through high school and you were like, man, I missed out on so much. Play this game, go back and party. I know it's not exactly the same thing, but it's as close as we're going to get, unfortunately.
Back when times were simpler, we didn't have adult responsibilities. My one to watch this week is an upcoming game called Rock Beasts. Now, this one is a 90s rock band management game. So basically, you play as a manager of this kind of band. They're like a new band who's trying to make it big, and you take on them as your clients and you play as their manager. So you're responsible for booking them gigs, making sure they've rehearsed, making sure they're all like happy and fed and all of that stuff, making sure that you promote their gigs, those kind of things. Already, it's a cool kind of vibe. But I was lucky enough to get a bit of a preview into this one with their early demo build this week. You can actually watch the gameplay too. It is out on our YouTube channel now. And let me tell you, this game, I'm already obsessed. It is so much fun. It's got that kind of old school rock band kind of vibes. I don't know if you ever played Rock Band, but it's got those kind of vibes to it. And complete with, you actually, when you do the gigs, you get to do like a rhythm kind of based playing the songs as the band as well, which is cool. But it's got a really cool art style. It's got a huge voice cast, so the voice acting in it is next level. It's so good. And it's just got this really like cool, grungy, nostalgic vibe that is incredible. The characters are all like animals. So like one guy in the band is like literally a fish, and you just see like his fish head sticking out of like his t-shirt. And then you have like, you know, a bunny rabbit who basically looks like if Bugs Bunny, you know, had a rough life. It's very adult. There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of mature kind of themes in there.
They've also got like a thing on Steam called the Backstage Pass, and you can go through and look at, there's like a full documentary here of how they're making it and everything. This is nuts. Like, it's not even out yet, and it's got so much.
All of the actual band's music that you play is original. So it's all original soundtracks, all originally written specifically for the game. So like the creativity in this is next level. It is such a cool concept for one. Like the whole management side of it is just fun. But then taking it into that 90s rock band kind of era, it's kind of got like an indie rock kind of feel to it. Like that's what a lot of the vibe of music is. But, you know, there's places like a record store that you can go and visit that, you know, you can get extra like hype points or mood points from looking at different albums and getting inspired by them and things like that. And you have to like hire a like rehearsal space. The world design is really cool. It's got like this multi-layered kind of world. So you have different streets, but they're kind of like layered. It's kind of hard to explain. I'll put it on the screen so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But it's got this like multi-layered navigation system, which is so cool. And it's just, I don't know, it's just a vibe. The entire game is just a vibe. And I'm not sure when the demo is going public. It will probably be in the next couple of months, I would assume, based on what I played. But if you're interested, go and check out the Let's Play and definitely wishlist this one because it is 100% one to watch.
I'm in on this. As soon as the demo comes out, I'm playing.
It's so good.
Taste test.
You've heard about some of the games we're looking forward to, but what about the ones we've been playing? This is part of the show where we get to talk about the games that we've been checking out this week and giving a bit of a taste test. So this week I have been playing a game called Let Them Trade, which is It's kind of like a colony sim resource management game. There's two kind of main game modes. You do have a campaign mode, and then you have just a free kind of endless mode that you can play. But I was playing through the campaign, and each of these campaigns has different kind of goals that you need to complete and different quests that you need to fulfill, as well as like some side goals just to add to them. You start off with a castle, and then you need to build cities that kind of provide resources to each other and to the castle itself. So you can choose how you want your cities to function. So you will need to build like houses for your peasants, and then later on your workers. And then you can also choose what resources they produce. So there's certain resources that need to be built on certain spots. So for instance, you need to build potato farms on fertile land. You can't just build them anywhere. You need to build your lumberjacks on forest tiles, that kind of thing. And you can choose if you want to make your cities specialize in specific resources or kind of just have a hybrid mix of everything. It gets challenging in that each map is different and there are different resources spread around differently. So you need to get a little bit strategic with how you actually build your cities and where you place them, where you put your housing versus where you put your resources. But the cool thing about it is that the resource and the trading between your cities is actually done automatically. So you can kind of just focus more on the high level stuff. You don't have to worry about making sure that someone's trading with someone else or sending resources here or sending resources there. You can kind of like be a bit more hands off. There's not a whole lot of micromanaging in it. It's more just you need to kind of achieve this goal. So it might be building a statue, it might be building like a jousting arena, those kind of things, whatever the goal may be. And you can kind of just focus on making sure you've got all the resources coming in to be able to complete those goals. There's a huge resource tree that you need to progress through to be able to unlock different resources. And you have different tiers of your citizens as well. So you kind of have peasants and workers and citizens and aristocrats, I think. You also have knights that you can send out to scout because some of the land is kind of grayed out, so you don't know what resources are there. So you can send out your knights to scout and uncover the different tiles. And later on in the game, there's also bandits who do come and attack your cities. So you need to keep an eye out for those and make sure you've got enough guys to kind of protect your city from the bandits as well. I really enjoyed this one. I think it's a really kind of cozy-ish take on a colony sim resource management game because you don't have to micromanage. It feels a little bit less stressful, a little bit more hands-off. You can kind of just chill a little bit. Everything's getting taken care of. All you have to worry about is, you know, building your different resource buildings. So you just have to make sure there's enough supply to meet demand and keep your villagers happy. There's heaps of campaigns to progress through, as well as that endless mode, so you can just start on a map and build and build and build and build and build. We do have a Let's Play up on YouTube as well if you want to get a hands-on kind of feel for how the game plays. So you can go and watch that. But otherwise, this is one I really, really enjoyed.
This week, I jumped into Micropunk, which is in early access. They are calling it 1.0 because they've added everything they'd expect from a finished game into it, and they're going to continue working on. It's a shooter, co-op shooter, where you are on a space station, you get sent to this planet, and you basically got to gather resources. But the issue is that the planet has been taken over by some sort of fungi apocalypse. You head down to the planet, you've got to fight these things off while doing these different missions, and the big kicker with the enemies though is when you destroy one and it drops all of its bits and pieces, another one could come over and pick all that up. The big feature of this game, I feel, is the fact that you could start off with all these little funguses roaming around the sort of battle area, and you can end with this big Evangelion looking thing that's got shields everywhere. Every time you hit it, it says invulnerable, and you've got to find the core to try and destroy that to destroy the monster, and it just makes missions so much more interesting. It's not a standard go down, gather resources, and leave. It's like waves and waves of these monsters that progressively, if you don't do your job, get so much harder. I was lucky enough to play this in co-op as well, so I played with Tommy Guns and the Average Rook, and we had an absolute blast. We spent about 40 minutes just roaming around the starting base area, which is like the multiplayer lobby, just having a look at that. In that area itself, there's so much content. There's go-karts, there's basketball. There is so much there that you can explore, and it was just amazing. Playing it together was a lot of fun, interacting with friends while we were going along, hearing each other's sort of reactions to the things that were coming out. It was just a really, really good experience. Like I said, it's early access, so it can only get better from here. The game looks fantastic, feels fantastic. The guns are all customizable. There is a playthrough up right now with myself, Tommy, and Rook. It's on the channel, so you can go and check it out if you want to and see what we got up to throughout the game. But it's also a really good look of what it feels like, what it looks like to play with multiple people, and how the game sort of progresses in that multiplayer area. I have actually told other people to pick it up so that I can continue playing it. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It's definitely worth playing if you're into, I'd almost say Borderlands-y style shooters. Very similar. Great characters, great dialogue, and just balls to the wall, fast-paced action.
For this week's challenge, we are doing Guess the Game based off the Steam description. So, as we know, Steam descriptions can be either really good and really descriptive, or they can be like completely left of field. So this is really going to put some games to the test. I picked 3 games that I'm going to test Ant on, and he's picked 3 games from me, and we'd love you to play along. So if you guess the games, let us know. So the first game description I have is: defy the god of the dead as you hack and slash out of the underworld in this roguelike dungeon crawler from the creators of Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre.
Hades?
Yes, it's Hades.
Oh, wow, yes. Oh, that was good. Yes, yeah, that was a good one. I think it was the defining thing in that was the god of the underworld.
Yeah.
My first one is: this game is an open-world survival crafting game for 1 to 8 players, blending intense dungeon crawling and ARPG combat with peaceful farming and creative building. Take on quests and explore a vast, procedurally generated world full of danger and discovery.
Is it Lens Island?
Yes. Yeah, it is.
The 1 to 8 players, as soon as you said that, because a lot of games don't have 8 players, I was like, it's Lens Island. It's totally Lens Island. All right, my next game. A fast-paced roguelike kingdom builder. Grow your empire and fight massive battles against powerful rival kings. Break the game with thousands of insane builds to become the king of kings.
The king is watching?
No.
Oh, wait. Can you say it again for me?
Okay. A fast-paced roguelike kingdom builder. Grow your empire and fight massive battles against powerful rival kings. Break the game with thousands of insane builds to become the king of kings.
Oh, is it? Oh, 9 kings?
Yep.
Okay, I was like, oh, it's gotta have king in the name of it, surely. I don't know whether you've played this one, but I think there'll be one keyword that will give it away. This game is a survival life simulation game set on an island inspired by the rugged Australian outback. Farm, hunt, mine, fish, and forage to gather resources, expand your town, and discover what makes this game so special, either solo or with friends.
Is it Dinkum?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The Aussie.
But yeah, there's not many. I was like, oh, this could go either way, but no, there's not many survival life simulation games in Australia, unfortunately.
No, there's not. Are you ready for the last one? This one's going to be the hardest one.
All right, I've got this.
Dig, fight, explore, build. Nothing is impossible in this action-packed adventure game. 4-pack also available.
What? Go again.
Dig, fight, explore, build. Nothing is impossible in this action-packed adventure game. 4-pack also available.
What does the 4-pack mean?
It makes sense in the context of the game.
4-pack also available, and it makes context in the sense of the game. So you can play with 4 people.
Yeah.
And you can buy 4 copies of the game.
Yeah.
Have I played this game?
I'm assuming so. You know this game, even if you haven't played it.
Build.
Do you want the tags?
Yes, please.
Open world survival craft, Sandbox, Survival, and 2D.
Terraria?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, you'll get it off the 2D.
Yeah, it was the 2D. In my head, I had like the 4-pack was just confusing the heck out of me, honestly.
Yeah.
I was like, what does that even mean? What is 4-pack? I need to look at the Steam page now because 4-pack still doesn't.
You can buy 4 copies to send extra copies to your friends.
Okay, that's a smart marketing move.
Yeah,
GG.
It's cheaper to buy 4 copies than it is to buy them individually. So if you're looking to pick up Terraria,
4-pack, that's literally what it
buy
says.
4 copies. It is. Like, I was like, that's so random, but I feel like it's just enough difference that you'll get it.
All right, my last one. I don't know whether you've played this one, but I'm pretty sure you've heard about it. I think I've heard you bring it up before. This game is a peaceful building strategy and puzzle game where you create a beautiful and ever-growing village landscape by placing tiles. Explore a variety of colourful biomes, discover and unlock new tiles, and complete quests to fill your world with life.
Is it Dorf Romantic?
Oh man, you're so good at this.
I spend a lot of time reading Steam descriptions, okay?
Next time I'll have to go harder. I'll have to put like horror games in there.
There's a few of those tile-based games, but I was like, you wouldn't have gone for like an off one. You would have gone for the main deal. So
Yeah, it's once again like we play a lot of games, but it's hard to remember which ones you have sunk a lot of time into and which ones you haven't sunk a lot of time into. Like you probably read me the description for something like, I don't know, Don't Starve Together, and I probably wouldn't get it.
yeah.
Good game. You win.
Yeah.
You win? You win?
Kind
No.
of. We both win. There's no winners or losers.
Technically you won. I had to get a hint.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, there's no winners or losers, but someone definitely did better than the other person.
All right, we'll take that. I'll take that. We are going to wrap up this episode of the Indie Brew Show there. Thank you so much for watching. We love having you. We love hearing all of your comments. So make sure to leave us some goss in the comments. Leave us some Stardew challenges. I want to know those ones in particular.
Also, if you want us to play any of the backlog games that we've mentioned, please try and convince us. We need to know what's so good about these games.
If you're looking for more indie game content, our YouTube channel and website and social media are absolutely stacked full of different indie games, including our Let's Plays of games that we've talked about on the show today, like Let Them Trade, Micropunk, and a preview of Rock Beast. So definitely go and check out some more stuff on our channel.
If you do like the show, make sure to leave a like and drop your comments down below. Also, for the peeps who would like to listen to the show instead of watching it, we are on Spotify as well, the Indie Brew Show. So go and get your ears into that.
And until next time,
Stay caffeinated.